Y'all ready?
Yep.
Let me silence the phone. So Jason Licht ain't calling me during
Jason Licht hitting you up?
Yeah, let's make sure he ain't hitting me up.
Bucks.
Ain't it?
I got a question to ask you, man.
You got a question to ask me? You gonna blindside me?
Yeah.
That's cool, bro. That's cool, man. Alright, man, we are back. It is CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager, the YouTube channel. You know it because you on it. We are here to talk about my team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a disclaimer. I got to put it on the shirt, man.
Yeah. That's Bucko Bruce right there, man. So they call him.
Yeah.
Respect them.
Yeah, I mean, I need BA's picture in there now. That's all over the Twitterverse and you know
with the Kangol.
Yeah, man. You know, but we're doing the off-season preview.
Yes. The Buccaneers, man. I got a question for you, man.
Already.
Are you guys still hashtag Siege the Day?
Oh, wow.
Or under the siege? What are you guys right now?
Right now, I don't know what we are, man. Might be hashtag Bucko something. I don't know where we at, man.
All right, man. Before we get to the off-season preview, man, let's recap the 2018 season. We had an in-season firing from the defensive coordinator, Mike Smith. Then you had a firing after the season, Dirk Koetter, head coach. So you brought in some new coaches.
Clean house.
Bruce Arians, clean house. The issue for the Bucs in the 2018 season, they were ranked 31st in points against. So they allowed the second most points in the league, 6th most first downs, 6th most yards, and they were 30th in rushing offense. So they couldn't run the football and they couldn't stop anybody on defense. What do you guys think about the 2018 season, man?
Well, what do you think about the 2018 season? Yeah, as our resident Bucs fan.
I mean, coaching matters, and we say it all the time at CPGM. Just look at the Super Bowl. Coaching matters. Coach got outcoached and they lost. But as for the Bucs, man, I mean, Mike Smith, man, it was probably a game too late, man. I mean, they went against the Bears. They got embarrassed. They went into the bye week. That's probably when they should have fired Mike Smith, but. You know, Dirk's, that's his guy. He's going to stick with him. And essentially, that's part of the reason why he got fired, man. But, yeah, man, there's a lot of rumors and stuff going around. And some of that stuff's not rumors. Some of that stuff is actually fact now that it's come out with Miko Grimes and Brent Grimes. And, you know, Mike Smith not listening to the players in the room. They got ideas and okay, but you're not really trying to hear what they're trying to say. And there was stuff like, you know, where he was... Basically, you got rookies. You got MJ Stewart. You got Carlton Davis out here in the secondary, and you essentially what it was is, from what I heard, they would practice a particular coverage. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do for.
This is the game plan.
Yeah, this is the game plan.
This is our defensive.
This is what we're gonna do, and game comes, and they're running that. Whether it's working or not, I don't know, but. Mike Smith, he goes into panic mode, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back 6 weeks ago, and we're going to run defense from 6 weeks ago. Well, those rookies, Jordan Whiteheads, the Carlton Davis, the MD, those guys aren't going to remember what they're doing. So it was just a bunch of busted coverages, guys running loose all over the place, and that's not the way you want to do things. So, you know, I mean, if you're not going to listen to your players. That's what's going to happen on the defensive side of the ball. As for the pick, I think it was a 12th pick last year. We traded down with the Bills and Vita VA, not Derwin James. Sorry, guys.
Derwin.
Vita VA, man. I kind of forgot about him as the draft is going. I'm getting excited. This, what we going to do with the pick? And I don't know. I just drew a blank. And when I see the name come up, I was like, yo, I'm excited because this dude is unblockable. At times he was getting triple team at Washington. But you know, obviously, Bucs fans know he got injured. First practice, he missed quite a lot of time, man. And when he came in, it was like, you know, he was basically kind of starting over. You know what I mean? He had to get in football shape, this, that, and the other. But once the ball kind of got rolling, man, you can see the flash. You can see the talent, man. You can see the disruption. He got a couple of sacks. I mean, blowing up plays. I mean, the potential's there, man. So you know, I'm. A lot of people was, oh man, we got to D-tackle. What's he gonna do? This, that. I'm telling you, he's gonna open lanes he's gonna clog lanes, open lanes. I'm excited for that guy, bro. Yeah. I'm excited for him. So
I'm optimistic actually with the Buccaneers defense with the change to Todd Bowles. Last season, I'm watching Buccaneers games and they're 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. It's wide open, free releases. I didn't get it, so I know Todd Bowles is not going to do that, and he's going to be aggressive. So I think, it's optimism for that Bucs defense going forward.
Putting your players in the best position possible. I mean, Mike Smith lied, bro. He said, I'm not going to do the square peg round hole. Meanwhile, we're doing the square peg round hole. So, As for the offensive side, man, it was a mess with Jameis. He got suspended, missed the first 4 games. Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzmagic. Then it became Ryan Fitztragic. The word is Dirk wanted Ryan Fitzpatrick as his guy. And his hand was forced. They said, no, you're going to play Jameis. Like, we need to figure out if this is our guy. And for the most part, to close out the season,
Pfizer
Jameis looked good at the end of the season, but you playing for a guy who necessarily didn't want you. So, here we are. We're 5-11, 5th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
What did you think about? We've talked about it over the course of Jameis's tenure in Tampa Bay.
That's your guy, right?
Going into the 5th year option. Going into the 5th year option. You never liked the pairing with Dirk Koetter in terms of how he wanted to approach things offensively, given Jameis's skill set. And you had some experience, in Atlanta with Dirk Koetter. You're an Atlanta fan. So what was kind of your thought process there?
Hold on, before we get it, you're an Atlanta fan, right?
Yeah.
Where's Dirk Koetter?
Back in Atlanta.
What's he doing?
OC.
Okay, go ahead.
But
how you feel about that, by the way?
Hey man, it's continuity for Matt Ryan.
Gotcha.
So that's where I'm at with it, man. So as far as Jameis Winston, #1 draft pick, Florida State Seminole. It wasn't really the issue with Koetter. It's the vertical system. I just think if you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a running game, then that system's not going to work, man. So I think, Jameis, his best years in Florida State is when we had a running game and we ran the football. It was Devontae Freeman, Dalvin Cook. So, if the Bucs, Peyton Barber, I don't think Peyton Barber is the answer as the running back 1 for the Buccaneers. And the offensive line, I've always had issues with it. And that vertical passing game is not going to work without a running game and offensive line. So I think for Jameis, he's going to Bruce Arians now. I know we're going to get into Bruce Arians. He has a vertical system also. And he still has those same running backs and that same offensive line. And you might lose an offensive lineman in free agency. So I still think there's a lot of issues there with the team, the personnel on the offensive side, which doesn't lend Jameis to have success over there.
What would you say to the effectiveness, the seeming effectiveness that the Bucs had running that vertical offense when Fitzpatrick was in the lineup?
With Ryan Fitzpatrick, it was just the rallying around him, man. It was just like he rose the occasion of his teammates, and they wanted to play for him. So I thought that it was just this burst of energy for the Buccaneers, man, before he started.
So less skill set. I guess it was just the team seemed to be galvanized when Fitzpatrick was in the game.
That's how I looked at it at the beginning of the year until he got into Fitztragic. So.
Right. What about you? What did you think about that? How the offense? Because I think Headley makes good points. I think particularly when you're trying to push the football down the field, if you can't invite the safeties to come up, if you're not threatening with the running game on a consistent basis, and you can't necessarily hold up long enough for a play to develop, there's going to be some challenges associated with the deep ball. Of course, there's always been a question about Jameis's deep ball accuracy as well. So do you think that's kind of where the shift, the paradigm shift, when you had Fitzpatrick and he was hot and playing, because he's a streaky guy, he's going to throw picks too.
Yeah.
Was it really just, did it just come down to the deep ball accuracy, or what else? What else do you think came into play?
No, deep ball. I mean, that's when people talk about what happened last season between Fitzpatrick and Jameis is he can hit the deep ball.
Sure.
He can get that connection with Deshaun Jackson, and with Jameis he can't hit that deep ball. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've seen plenty of players talk about the chemistry between him and Deshaun Jackson, just couldn't get it down. But us not being able to run the football, and to me part of it is they didn't run the ball enough for me just in general.
They didn't commit to it.
They didn't commit to it, and then when we get into the red zone, we want to throw the ball even more.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, I just think not trying to attempt to run the football enough for me is an even bigger problem.
Sure. More so than just the consistency out of the vertical passing game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have Jameis who comes in, and you have Ryan Fitzpatrick he was Ryan Fitzmagic at the moment. you got Jameis watching that, at home on the television or on a bar, wherever he was at, and he's like, damn, I gotta rise to that occasion. I gotta rise to the occasion.
Maybe he's pressing.
Yes. He said as much.
Sure.
So, now I come back, it's my team. Like, I'm trying to think of it as, I'm being him, and I'm coming into a situation where we're having all this success, and now I'm back and I'm the guy, and now I have to do what that guy was doing. You know what I mean? And when you're not doing it, a Cincinnati Bengal game, that's kind of what that was. It's a whole lot of pressing, a whole lot of just bad picks, a whole lot of bad play, because you feel like I got to be that guy who's sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's been Jameis' Achilles heel throughout his career. It's just he tries to do too much. Instead of throwing the ball away, he's forcing passes, throwing interceptions, and that's how you get benched. That's how he got benched, because he was just doing a lot more than he's supposed to do and forcing passes. So if Jameis wants to take that step in his career, he has to play safer. And we'll see with this offensive line, with BA, if things change. But as of right now, I'm still not sure, man, if things will change with Jameis.
It's funny that you say that, and certainly we're going to get a little bit more into Bruce Arians and, Todd Bowles coming in, Byron Leftwich going to call the plays here. New group here to see what they can ultimately get out of Jameis Winston. Is that Dirk Koetter said that. He said, Jameis just needs not to make that wrong play, to make the right decisions, to understand when it's not there, to protect the football. Because you look at it, when you look on paper, and then certainly on the field, this Buccaneers offense, despite the fact that they had some shortcomings in terms of the running game, or they got away from the running game too much, they were explosive. Yeah, they were explosive. When O.J. Howard was healthy, Chris Godwin took a step forward. You know what I mean? They Cameron Brate, there's some weapons, and there's some things, and of course Mike Evans, there's some things to work with, particularly in the passing game. So, it'll be interesting, because BA's not a dink and dunk kind of coach. You know what I mean? It's about pushing the football down the field. It's about getting, chunk plays. It's going to be prototypical, which I think there is a parallel there for Jameis. That's what he came through at FSU under Jimbo Fisher. So I don't think conceptually Jameis is going to have any issue with that. But decision making, it still reigns king.
I'm gonna give him a shout out. Big Hero C he always talking about Jameis and the coaching, and Mike Bajakian was the quarterback's coach, and I've heard things on the Buccaneer radio network talking about basically there's certain things that Koetter doesn't concern himself with in terms of Jameis Winston, in terms of making him a better quarterback. And he's just like, we don't have to worry about those things. And I think first of all, having a Byron Leftwich, a guy who's first of all played in Tampa, played the position, and has kind of risen himself up from the ranks, came in as an intern and now is the offensive coordinator, and he's a rising star in the league.
I do tend to agree with you, though. I think from a coaching standpoint, from the individuals that are going to be in his ear and are responsible for his continued development, I think there's a much better infrastructure there. I think there's much better infrastructure there than there has been in the past. Currently, what kind of cap space do the Bucs? What are they working with?
Right now, we got, I think, $8 million. So, I mean, we a little strapped, man. We got to go to, right now, we got to go to McDonald's to get something to eat. So, but I imagine, we're going to let go of some expenses. Okay, we're probably, I'm pretty sure, and I think most Bucs fans feel this way, is Jerome McCoy's going to be out the door. That's $13 million. Vinny Curry is, it depends. That's $8 million. You're talking about Deshaun Jackson, who, does he want to be here? Does he not want to be here? Does Jameis like him? Does he like Jameis? Where's the chemistry? BA's supposed to sit down with him. That's $10 million. You're talking about a Bo Allen, I think is 3.7 or 5. There's some more money there. They can free up potentially over $40 million
with minimal dead cap.
With minimal dead cap. And I mean, that's going to leave some holes now, is specifically the defensive line. So I imagine some of those guys will still be here, but we got to open up we got to open up the purse strings, because some people think we're going to go get Le'Veon Bell for $18 million. I'm straight off that.
Hey, I think y'all need a running back.
Listen.
If Ronald Jones, I like Ronald Jones coming out, but if he's not panning out in that offense, we need somebody to take the pressure off of Jameis. Le'Veon Bell. I'm hearing Kareem Hunt's name out there.
I'm okay with that.
That's
a different conversation. But.
Yeah, a lot cheaper option. So I just think there needs to be a new running back in there. I don't think Peyton Barber should start the season as the RB1.
He just a hater, man. Listen,
I think Peyton Barber's serviceable. I just think you guys need to be a little bit more dynamic, and I guess the expectation was Ronald Jones. Mm-hmm. I don't know where Ronald Jones is at this juncture.
So the talk is that Ronald Jones, everything's coming at him fast. Playbook, you got a new place, like all this stuff is coming at him fast, and some kids have no issue. They're good to go. They're the starter, a Saquon Barkley type. It's everything on and But for Ronald Jones, you could tell in practice he's pressing. I've seen it in practice. The media has said it. Like he's pressing.
He's thinking
too much. So instead of just playing it, and for me, I feel like he was kind of a little bit set up for failure. Like just get the man some easy touches. You know what I mean? And every time he did touch the ball, he was getting blown up in the backfield, which didn't help. So
there seemed to be a short leash on Ronald Jones.
Absolutely.
And I understand certainly if you're putting the ball on the ground as a young back, you're probably going to ride the bench. Mm-hmm. You're dropping passes, pass protection, ultimately running blitzes. So you got to kind of work yourself out of the doghouse. Hopefully with the new regime in, of course, that's not necessarily their guy. Jason Licht's still there, but with the coaching staff here, maybe he can kind of bounce back because I think he has ability. I particularly in the open field, I think he has ability. I think there's a role for him. So ultimately, you've said it. You don't necessarily want to invest in Lev Bell. Where are you investing? What are you trying to accomplish via free agency and then ultimately in the draft?
I know there's people out there that aren't going to want to hear this, but I'm okay with going to get a Kareem Hunt. People deserve a second chance. I understand what he did. I get it. But somebody gonna sign him. Why not us? He wanted. He was a Tampa Bay fan, from what I understand. He wanted to come here. Just we didn't scoop him. So that would be a target for me. I don't mind Lev Bell. I'm just not paying $18 million.
Sure.
And is Quan Alexander, is he coming back? Is he healthy? I don't know. Our other linebacker got banged. Broken ankle. Is he going to be ready to go and Kendall Beckwith?
So Quan is an unrestricted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Minter, you kind of brought into kind of as a stopgap. He's unrestricted.
Mm-hmm.
Beckwith is injured.
Yeah, and they don't know if he's going to play again.
Sure.
Actually, so.
And then you may or may not be transitioning into a 3-4.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of questions. With that fifth pick. Yeah. I see a lot of people mocking us to Josh Jacobs. I don't want to run back I don't want to run back in the first round. I'm looking for a pass rusher. Can a Josh Allen fall to me, please? Yeah. Can I pray to God that a Nick Bosa falls to us? I mean,
good luck with that one.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that wasn't.
And the thing is, I don't know if we're doing a 3-5. I don't know if we're a 4-3 because I'll take a Quinn Williams. I'll take a Ed Oliver. I'm just not sure where we're going to be at. What we.
Sure. There's some positional flexibility with some of those guys that you just mentioned there, though. When you're talking Rashawn Gary, Oliver, Quinn Williams, they can do 3 technique. They can do 5 technique. They could be a 1 technique. They can do a number like 1 through 5. Hell, you know what I'm saying? 2 gap, 1 gap. That may not necessarily be the ideal way to use them, but again, they have that kind of versatility. So Haley, what about you? What are you thinking? You mentioned the offensive line at the top of the video.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Here we go.
That's exactly where I'm going. The offensive line, man. You got to protect the franchise. If Jameis Winston's a franchise, Donovan Smith, he's a free agent. What is he going to be? $12-14 million.
It's going to be a lot.
Annually.
Yeah. They're talking about franchising them maybe if they go that route.
Yeah. The right guard is a huge problem right now for Tampa Bay. I don't even know who starts there. Do you know the name?
Yeah, I used to call him Benadryl, and he was probably Benanock.
UCLA.
But he was the worst guard in the league. Period.
So you need a new guard. You might need a new tackle. So in the draft, I know there's a lot of sexy out there in terms of defensive line pass rushers, but to me, locking down the offensive line is a little more important, more pressing to me than the defensive line in Tampa Bay. I think defensively, Tampa has a lot of issues on the back end. I think getting Todd Bowles is there now. Let's start there. Todd Bowles is there now. He's an aggressive play caller, lots of blitzes, so you're going to need some outside corners. I think Vernon Hargreaves is best suited for the slot position. Then you have a Carlton Davis out there, get another press corner. You got guys like Greedy Williams out there, Juwan Williams. It's some press corners out. It's some big, tall corners out there that can press.
How about your boy? Can I say it?
Who is that?
Your number one?
My number one corner? No, I'm saving him.
Oh, you're saving him?
I want him in Atlanta.
Okay.
DeAndre Baker. So, the Bucs, y'all need to pass on him. But I think secondary is a big need for the Bucs defensively and offensively. The offensive line, needs work.
And can I get a Tyrann Mathieu in the
Honey Badger?
Yeah, because we
Bruce
all know
Arians
Chris
connection?
Conte. We
There is
can
a
go and
connection
ship him
there.
up and ship him out.
Yeah, I need some safeties.
Conte lasted a lot longer than I could have ever
Just
anticipated.
need one. We good.
Just
Just Jordan Whitehead and Justin Evans. They good, but throw a
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu in there with the alpha dog mentality and the.
So what about the second level? We talked a little bit about that. We touched on that as well. Is there a possibility that Devin White goes top 5 in this draft?
Not to the Bucs.
You don't think so?
Raiders.
You're not doing.
No.
Fair enough.
And listen. He's the top linebacker. I'm not doing it.
I understand
And I'm
historically.
not paying Quan $12 million. Not doing it. Sorry, I haven't.
You tight with the money, man. You don't want to pay
You tight with
nobody.
the
No,
You don't pay nobody.
Did I just tell you how much money we could potentially have? We could-
40 million.
Yeah.
But you say you don't want to pay nobody.
No, what do you mean? No,
You
I'll
don't
pay
wanna
somebody.
pay left
You
now.
don't want to pay left.
Listen, I don't want to pay Lev down on $18 million when I can go get a Kareem Hunt for pocket change.
Okay. It's Bucs Nation, under the siege, seize the day.
Hashtag fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bucs fans, what's y'all hashtag? Under the siege? Under the siege.
Hashtag seize the day. Hashtag fire the cannons.
Under the siege.
Terrible, man. So the hate is real, man. The hate is real.
That's it, man. We done. Under the siege. That's all, Little Mermaid.